Joseph Milkovich, go with your gut. Go with your gut, Joseph Milkovich.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters, and welcome guests. We all have experiences in our life when we were younger. Some of them were funny, others were very serious. And then there are just experiences that we always remember in our head. I had one of those experiences when I was young. It happened probably when I was about 12. And it has taught me a lot of lessons. And it taught me to go with my gut. It all started one afternoon after overnight it rained really hard. And all of our friends, Kyle, Kevin, Joe, Jimmy, and myself were in the backyard of my friend's house. At the time, there was no parents home. Babysitter was in the house watching TV. We're totally unoccupied. So we were in the backyard, and we're by the swing set. We're trying to figure out, so, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Usually the oldest one has a say in everything, on what we do. So that was Kevin. So we're still trying to figure out what we want to do. So we're moving around. We're feeling the ground. We're like, man, this ground's kind of soft. What could we do? So we looked at the ground, and usually people have snowball fights. And the ground was pretty soft, so Kevin was like, well, why don't we just have a mud fight, a mud ball fight? That'd be fun. It's something a little different than snow, a little more messier. So we decided to have a mud ball fight. So, you know, some mud very slimy, other mud you could pack like sand. And we were just launching at each other, just back and forth. My friend Jimmy went with his gut. He was like, I don't know about this. I gotta go, guys. Gotta go eat dinner. So he left. We were all pointing at him like, oh, come on, wimp. Why don't you stay here? This is fun. We're throwing mud. He went with his gut. And that's when things started to turn in my stomach. I was like, So I decided to stay anyways. So let's enjoy some more fun. So we started, throwing around some more mud. Eventually, Joe, my friend, had to go home, and he was just saturated in mud. I mean, he was dripping, clumps on there. I mean, just dripping, just like cookie. It looked like cookies and like fudge all over his body. So he had to go home. His mom called him home, and he went home. And then Kevin, the guy who started the mud fight, decided, okay, well, I'm gonna go inside now. So he went inside, and it was just Kyle and me. Kyle and I just left. And we're like, okay, we're pretty soaked with mud, so let's go inside. So we went inside. We're like, okay, do we want to clean ourselves up in the garage with the hose? Nah, let's go inside. So we went inside, and we started first on the first floor, the ceramic tile. We're trying to clean with this little sink. And we're like, oh, this is not working, so let's go check some mud somewhere else. So we walked around the house, and we're like, oh, I got an idea. Let's go upstairs where there's a bathtub. So we went up the tan carpet, which is now brown. Walking up the stairs, we're walking up, and pretty soon the white tub was brown too. So then, after a while, I guess my mom heard from another mom what was going on. So she called me home. So I went home. I went there, and she's like, what happened? And right now, as the situation was going on, it kept escalating. And we're like, oh, I don't know. Maybe this wasn't so good of an idea to throw mud at each other. So I went home. My mom shut the garage, and she was like, we're not washing those clothes. So took all the clothes off, we threw them out, right in the garbage, because there's no way all that mud was gonna come out. She wasn't too happy. So as a result, overall, I noticed that when you don't go with your initial gut, things spiral and get worse, and you feel that pain more and more. And as a result, I felt that, and I noticed that it's important to stop when you feel it first and not to go on, because in my situation, I could have went out clean, perfect, like, you know, brown pants, blue shirt, but instead, everything was just brown, and I got in a lot of trouble. So my advice to you guys is go with your gut.